All right, hey everyone, welcome to the short recap for week 30 of my chill kernel hacking for fun streaming series. Today I'm walking through my latest stream in about 10 minutes. We're gonna walk through the 2-hour stream and hit all the key points and key moments. So today's topic was system calls. So last week we implemented kind of interrupt support, and then now we're using that base interrupt infrastructure to add system calls on top of that. So user space can trigger functionality in the kernel. So at about the 7-minute mark, I start implementing the base like interrupt for system calls. Here's me just declaring the macro. There's a bit of boilerplate that's involved with adding a new interrupt handler, and so that's what I'm doing there. Yeah, do some reading for a little bit. At the 24-minute mark approximately, I'm writing the code that dispatches from the interrupt handler into the actual system call kind of entry point of the kernel, which requires taking all these registers, register states, and passing them as the arguments into this system call dispatcher, because there's this specific ordering of the arguments. And then the first parameter to the system call function is EAX, because that's the system call number. And then we have all these registers for the arguments to pass to the kernel. Around the 37-minute mark, I am just browsing through the user space assembly code that triggers a system call. It's specifically right here, where we can see that these registers are being populated. So there's that, and then 39-minute mark, I got a hello world working, I think, at somewhere around here. Yeah, right here, I got the hello world working, and so that means the basic system call machinery was set up such that user space can trigger this kind of like print string system call that we have. And that triggers the interrupt. It's dispatched into the system call entry point, which is further dispatched into this put string system call, which prints out the hello world text. And then actually at this point, it doesn't return successfully. Well, it actually does return back to user space, but then user space immediately crashes. But that's intended at this point, because user space tries to do this thing, which is kind of interesting. So in this OS, for this like learning MIT OS that I'm working on, user space, the OS actually exposes a lot of internal data structures to user space, which is kind of non-standard. Like a production OS wouldn't do this, but user space actually has access to these private basically struct or task structures that live inside the kernel. And so one of the first things that user space does is set a pointer to the internal kernel data structure that corresponds to this process. And so I was kind of just working on that for a little bit, trying to like, yeah, it's not honestly that interesting. That's at the 1 hour mark. And then 1 hour 32, I start working on this other lab or other exercise in lab 3. So this is exercise 9, and this is related to kind of doing error handling if things go wrong during the system call. So the main purpose is for checking of the pointers that user space passes to the kernel to make sure they are valid pointers to be accessed. But the first part of this is adding a basic little panic if a page fault is happening from actually from kernel mode, which is just kind of a little check that we want it to happen, because in this design the kernel memory isn't paged out or anything like that. So that's just not supported. And that's basically an error condition if that happens. So that was pretty easy. It just involves checking the code segment register, the low 3 bits or the low 2 bits of that register, and see if they're 0, and then we can panic on it if we're handling a page fault that was triggered by kernel code, because the kernel shouldn't page fault. And then starting from, let me see, something at 138. That was interesting, maybe. So at 138, I basically just test this. I test this out by adding what's basically just a seg fault into my kernel, where previously it would trigger reboots because I didn't have all this interrupt handling infrastructure set up and stuff. But now that I do, I can actually catch these things better and report a page fault from kernel mode and basically like blue screen the OS. At 144 or so, I start working on this function, which is part of doing the validation of user space pointers. And the idea is to just do some consistency checks on this memory range to see if user space is even allowed to access that, because either like it's in the appropriate range for user space, like below this U limit threshold point, like making sure user space isn't trying to reach out and touch kernel memory, but also then looking into the page tables and verifying that the operation that user space is trying to perform is allowed by the page tables. Like the pages are mapped, and also that it's writable if user space is trying to do a write, for example. And that's kind of what I did for the entire rest of the stream. So that's from 145 to the end, about 45 minutes of trying to write this function, which here is just me going back to some of my visualizations to understand the alignment, like how to handle alignment and how alignment might apply here and stuff. And so basically I was writing pretty bad code, to be honest, but it was just kind of my first pass at trying to do this validation. And so that's kind of what I do just for the last 45 minutes. I'm not really very proud of the code, but I think it does kind of work in the end. At the very end, we start running these user space programs that are intentionally buggy and kind of access like very low memory, or just try to like do the print string way off the end of memory and verify that the user memory check assertion fails, and it did in this case at least. So that's it. That was my week 30 kernel hacking stream. Short summary. Let me know if you appreciate this stream, this recap format. I'm doing it because I think most people don't have time to watch a 2-hour stream. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye.